And let's get into some hip-hop, some 95 hip-hop, folks. Talk about my favorite topic, favorite thing I love to talk about. That real hip-hop, not that watered-down bubblegum rap, that weak shit. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to talk about that, I can't relate to none of that. And that's most of this modern-day hip-hop of 2024, the new millennium crap. But we ain't going to get all into that. We're going into the 90s. You know what I'm saying? That second golden age of hip-hop, 95. Let's start with my top 10 albums that I do in every video, man. My top 10 albums of that year that I definitely thought made a stamp on hip-hop for that year. And one of the albums was Smith & Wesson, The Shining. I love that joint, man. Smith & Wesson, part of that super group of Boot Camp Click. Super group, man, with Buckshot from Black Moon. You had the fucking Helter Skelter in that group, man. Real banging the combination of MCs and producers coming together doing their thing. But the Shining album had Bucktown on there. Pretty dope album. Lyrical monsters, you know what I mean? They brought realness and rawness to hip-hop the best way that you can have it for 95. Also, you had the album by Big L, Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous album. Strictly Raw album. Big L was that dude about to come up and be one of the biggest things in the hip-hop, folks. He said shit that make you be like, yo. Like, Big L always going to be one of my favorite underground boys that was going to take it to that next level. I think he was going to want to take it to that next level of hip-hop. But that album brought, complete lyricism to the next level as well. The Graveyard had, on that joint, was like a young Jay-Z, raw Jay-Z on that particular track. That was a Jay-Z, the rhyming fast Jay-Z that was on that track. With a couple other people, Lord Finesse was on that joint as well. But the joints that came for that album, the singles, the hits from that was MVP. That was one of the main joints that really put Big L on the map. And like I said, L would just say off the wall, like you will never hear nobody else say type of shit. You also had Old Dirty Bastard. Old Dirty Bastard, man, from Wu-Tang Clan. Return to the 36 Chambers. He had the classic joint, Shimmy Shimmy Ya. Brooklyn Zoo was on there, but that album was dope rawness. Old Dirty bringing it to you, the Old Dirty style, like the Kung Fu movies, man. When he's drunk and high, that's when he's the best at his lyrics and his skills. Funny dude, man, had a crazy sense of humor. He was actually the glue of the group. He was the leader. He's the one that kept that group together as long as he did. Wasn't for Old Dirty, that group all would have disbanded apart and they all would have went solo and it would have just been solo MCs. Because they started out, believe it or not, you got to watch the series, the Wu-Tang joint, I think is on Hulu. They all supposed to have been solo artists that just formed a super group. That first album supposed to have been just a compilation album. And then, the RZA came up with the idea just to make a whole 9-member crew. But that 36 Turn to the 36 Chambers classic album with the welfare card on, when he using his welfare card for the album. Old Dirty, you're a beast for that one, man. You're a beast for that one. Old Dirty, perfect name. He gave it to you raw. You can give it for 95. But you also have Raekwon, which is arguably one of the best albums of that year. You know what I'm saying? Only Built for Cuban Links featuring Ghostface Killer. You had every track was raw, no fast forwarding. That's what makes a classic album to me, with the raw beats. That was the icing on the cake. Ray just bringing it to you the best way he can bring it, man. Took that hip hop street gangster shit to another level that you never had took it before. You had samples from The Killer. You had samples from that classic shoot 'em up movie, the John Woo joint. So you had the John Woo mixed with the gangster, with the kung fu, crazy combinations all the way around. Definitely one of my favorite Wu albums. I would say maybe my second. Um, as we keep going, talking about this real hip hop, man, I'm just reading from my list that I got down below, right here. If you keep seeing me put my head down. We also had Junior Mafia came out with Conspiracy. That joint was definitely a classic joint because Biggie was on there, my dude. You had Get Money on there. Biggie sprinkled himself throughout a couple songs on there. Junior Mafia doing their thing. Biggie crew, that was his crew. Lil Kim and all them got together to do that album, man. They just brought fun lyricism back to hip hop again. That's a nice little clique with Biggie and his crew, man. Each of them had their own style of MCing and everything. Of course, Biggie was the one on the throne, holding it down the best way he could do it. You had the Bull, my dude, AZ. Do or Die, man. Classic album for sure, AZ. Always gonna be one of my favorite MCs of all time. Helped being brought out by Nas. And them two was like definitely cut from the same cloth. When I think of Nas, I think of AZ. I just think AZ just has a little better flow the way he brings it. That's my personal opinion. But Sugar Hill, that was one of the joints that came from that album. Phenomenal MC, man. When I found out he was a Pisces like me, that made me even like him even better. Yeah, Goody Mob, Soul Food. You know what I'm saying? That's another album that came out. They was on a conspiracy joint talking about a lot of stuff going on with the gentrification in our neighborhoods and everything like that. This was their first album. Soul Food, definitely talking about a lot of stuff that's going on right now. Back in '95, I seen it myself when I had my little business. I was a vendor, and I used to see, a lot of empty lots and all this stuff like that. My dad always told me these empty lots is going to be apartment complexes and businesses. And then you go right down there in my old neighborhood in North, up there in Temple area, you'll see it all over, man. And that's what they was talking about. A lot of that in that album, Soul Food. Keep it to you raw as they can bring it. CeeLo, you know what I'm saying? Our dude always doing a little singing with his rhymes. That's what I like about him the most. And we getting into for everybody. The top album for me, up there, like I said, with the Raekwon joint, for another member from the Wu-Tang. As you can see, I got the hat on for a reason. Liquid Swords. You know what I mean? Every song phenomenal. Just always gonna be my favorite Wu member. Everybody got their favorite Wu members. Everybody say Method Man a lot. A lot of people say Raekwon. Some people say Ghostface. Some people got Inspector Deck. But he was the rawness of the group, the leader, like Voltron. He forms the head, like they said on the first album. Intelligent dude. If he wasn't rhyming and being an MC, I think he'd be a math or science teacher somewhere in a college somewhere. Yeah, that's how serious he is up there with the mental. He incorporate all that in his rhymes, physics, and all that type of stuff. What make the Jizza banging MC is every song he has a lyrical metaphor for something. He did a joint, y'all, in the hood. You gotta listen to his shit. He talk about in the hood, all these dudes around and everything that goes on, the drug dealing, everything. And he turned it into like, talking about the animals of the fucking jungle and compared them to people, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the giraffes was to look out because of their necks, warning everybody. Check that joint. Animal Planet, I believe it was called. He even inspired me to do my joint called Infested Streets. What I use, I got inspired from that to use like things we see in the hood every day. Like, we see on the ground, we see ants, we see rats, roaches, flies around us, and raccoons at night, opossums. I used all that, the squirrels, the pigeons. I used all that we see throughout our hood and our neighborhoods, and I compared them to people, how they are relatable and their attributes is related to people we know. So I used that as inspiration. But this Liquid Swords album, man, the joint with fucking Shadowbox with Method Man, my favorite joint. No man. I break it down to the bone gristle. Yo, yo, you gotta be started with this fucking Liquid Swords joint, man. And then what I love about this album is that everybody was used from the Wu. Every Wu member was on this album. Like some albums, you had like a certain people's, that particular member fucked with. That's just like real life, man. You fuck with who you fuck with, and certain members was on the album that they gelled with. Just use everybody. I don't think they had a whole posse cut together like Protect Your Neck, but they definitely had every member was on a group at some point, which I love that he did that, man. The only member that did that on a solo album like that. You know what I mean? It gave you that true Wu feeling, that true Wu presence. My dude, Jizza, man. And I like to say that was my top albums of 95. Please chime in and put in your favorite albums, what you thought was your favorite albums of 95. Was a special year. I said because of the hats and everything, how I got into hats. My daughter was born that year. And I also graduated from high school, Strawberry Mansion. Peace to one love to the class of 95. Strawberry Mansion. I graduated that year too. So that was a special year for me. And I want everybody to tune in, man. Give me your comments. I love to hear what you'd have to say about 95 as well. Make sure you support the Big Thin Hats. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop editions. I can do this joint. I can do Biggie, Tupac. I can do Eazy-E. I can do like the radio boom boxes on the hat. I can do a lot of different I can do Big Pun, the Big Pun logo, like the Jordan joint when I'm going up in the sky, like a basketball logo of Jordan. That joint, I can do a lot of different hip hop joints on a hat for you. Any color, any style, trucker hats, fitted hats, even New Era, folks. Yes, I can even put you a New Era joint with a hip hop logo. So, like I said, Big Thin Hats all the time, all day, every day. I'll see you when I talk about 96. Hope you enjoyed this joint. See you again. Peace. Matt Lyrical Wolf.